Hey guys, this is my 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS, and yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys what's wrong with it because I feel like it needs to. So not much exterior wise. I'll focus on exterior wise when I'm actually done with the diagnosing and everything. But right now, it's having a problem starting. I think it might have to do with one of those right there, which is the computer. Yeah, it just wouldn't start. I have fuel, 45 psi. I have spark on only 2 and 3. That's the main problem we're trying to diagnose here. I only have spark on 2 and 3, and in 1 and 4 is not sending out any spark. It's top dead center here, timed all correctly. It still turns over, so it's not seized. I did the all the wiring for all the sensors, as you can see. Well, it's kind of a mess here, but I've done all the wiring. I loomed it up, and then I opened it again to see if there's actually any cracks, but there wasn't. So yeah, I repinned or reconnected the coil pack connector and everything. So I don't know what to do now. So the main problem here is I'm not getting any spark on 1 and 4. If you guys know anything about these Chrysler 428 motors, let me know. But yeah, I know I replaced the ASD relay. That's like one of the first things that someone told me to do, is just replace this relay here, this gray one. It kind of sits like right here on these two mounts. So I fixed that already, and with another fuel pump one as well. Yeah, it just died, so I've automatically did the fuel pump and it still wouldn't go. So now we're on this diagnostic phase. As you can see, it's on the jack stands. But yeah, so right now we're just seeing if it turns on again. So the main problem here is we don't have spark on 1 and 4. It's just that one and this one, but 2 and 3 does. So I've already replaced all the sensors, like the crank and cam. I measured those pulses and the voltage. They all are getting the same. All the wires look alright because I've done every single wire on this car now. As you can see, I heat shrinked and everything. I checked, that's like one of the first things I checked around is the EGR tube. You see that tube there that goes to the intake and it wraps around here. That actually gets hot, so it's kind of a weird placement for it, but I guess for emissions here in California. So so the next thing I actually did was replace the coil pack like 4 times. I have a MSD one, but I just put the oil one just in case, but it still didn't spark. So I replaced the connector. As you can see, I soldered it, wired it directly. Everything's getting continuity, but just it's still the same problem persists. It's crazy because this car started perfectly before. It's just, I don't know why. It just dies out. So my next guess would be this thing here. This is the ECU. It rides right behind the fuse box, and I checked all the fuses, of course. So this is my next thing to do. This connector is a 96, I believe, 96 and 97 model year Eclipse. So I need to find something that fits there. I think that's it. Besides everything else, I done the gaskets already and all that when it did break. So now we're here 2 months later trying to diagnose it still. So I know it's not the starter, because that's still like sounds good, and there's a lot, you know, it's a good connection from the battery to the post. I know it's not the alternator. It's pretty new. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's a new alternator in there, and again, it's TDC. So I'm just wondering what happened now. So the next thing I would, honestly, this is the last resort at this point, but the next thing I would do is the ECU here. This is a 1996 through 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse 420A ECU. As you can see, it's a black one, black connector. I've already looked at the pins and everything, and they all look pretty good. As you can see, there's no corrosion, no oil, as well as the connector. So we're hoping that that's just the issue there. That's like one of the last things I wanted to replace is that ECU, but yeah, if anyone has one of those, let me know. You can message me or email me or something like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started for you guys and see how it sounds like. So if you guys remember, I still have this headliner here. It still works. It's just a little sagging here nowadays, as you can see. So here is the center console. Here's the mileage and everything. You guys can see that. Yeah, it has a very high mileage, so guaranteed that was all highway miles from the day they got it. So open door. So yeah, let's go ahead and get it started. So I do have a security system here. That is not the issue because I already checked all the grounds and everything, so that's good already. So this actually disables, it goes into the starter wiring, and it's basically like a little safety switch and all that. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get it started. So I'm putting the key in on position. I already primed it, so but I can do it again. You can hear that fuel pump priming back there. So I know it's priming and getting the right fuel pressure, so let's go ahead and try to start it. Clutch in. Let's do it again. On, clutch in. So if you guys know anything about the 428 Eclipse, let me know. I'm just trying to figure out and get this car started. Just at least starting, because prior to this problem we had a misfire issue, so I'm curious if that was the issue or if just the ECU died randomly. And as you can see, if you guys didn't check that, the ECU is not really dead. It's just maybe one of the drivers, coil drivers, actually died. As you can see, let me put it to on. So right when I do the on, the engine light still goes off and on, as you can see. Or it goes on, then everything else stays like that. The brake, because the handbrake's on, and then the oil light, just because there's no oil going through the engine currently, building pressure, and the door light. That's it. As you can see, that the blower motor and still works. See? Hear that? Hazard, right turn signal, headlights. I think my light bulb's out on that one, but let's go ahead and get back over here. It's hella windy. Yeah, we got that random side skirt there. Anyways, let's go back over here. Less windy, I guess. We'll wait. Alright guys, so I measured the voltage going up to the coil pack. That's a 11.8. It's not really high, but it did spike when I had the battery charger there to 13. So it should go to 12 for a moment and then go back to 0. So I checked that out, and then ASD is turning on when the right time and etc. And so I replaced the coil pack already like 4 times. So next I did was the wires and the plugs. That didn't really help either. After that I started measuring and diagnosing, because after that I was like on my last leg of replacing every part. Pretty much every part here is all OEM now. And of course I cleaned the grounds as well, as you can see, all sanded down and clean. Right here too, that's the one for the engine, or the ECU. So I measured the third one, or I measured the first one first, because that's the wire that's going to 2 and 3. Those are getting the right pulse voltage. It should switch from 0 to 5 volts. It's at 3.6. At least it was something. It was a signal, so it was switching to 0 to 3. Then I went ahead and measured the third wire there, and it didn't show any voltage pulsing. It barely did, maybe 0.67 to 0, so it's not even a volt. That's not enough to actually charge it there, so that would be the problem there. And I know it's not a crank sensor because it wouldn't be sparking 2 and 3. So the signal from this wire, right, this is the one closest to you, closest to the front of the car, that one's actually working perfectly. So it's going into the ECU, right, it's getting that signal and it's grounding, sending it back and firing these 2 plugs. That's basically how it goes for this car. The third wire isn't doing that. It's probably getting sent here, which I already checked in between from the crank and everything. Everything seems good. So it's probably getting into the ECU, and it's not sending it to here, basically. It's sending the voltage, right? It's not sending the signal to fire the plugs. So that automatically leads me to, sorry guys, this wind is killing me. So that automatically leads me to the ECU. So there's 2 drivers usually for an ECU to fire a coil pack on these cars. One is for the 2 and 3, similar to how a coil pack works on this car. One fires 2 and 3 and the other fires 1 and 4. So I'm guessing when I was driving out and about, you know, turning, I did turn and then try to go back to second gear. I'm guessing one of the drivers for that died, so, or drivers for the ECU. So that's the only thing that I'm getting at here, since I've diagnosed and replaced every part and looked at the basics of how to make a car start. This is the only issue we have here, is the no spark on 1 and 4, no start, but it cranks. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand what I said there, but basically the result is just a new ECU. And again, if you guys have any ECUs for a 97 or 96 ECU for an Eclipse 420A, let me know, because I just want to start the car and ride it, because I think the max time I actually started driving this car was when I got it back from the shop, 2 months. That's it. Then the whole last year when I first got the car was just just fixing it up, you know, how the stage 0 for all the fluids and your brake pads and all that. And I didn't even drive it. It wasn't even running right at then. So also the compression is good. It should be above 90 or above, what, 170. It should be 170 to 220. That's a good compression rate. I'm not planning on doing any boosting or anything. I just kind of just wanted the car to start because it's like one of the best things about this car before was just it was starting and no problems there, you know. I haven't guessed already, I'm going for a kind of a subtle build. I mean, right now I just got the side skirts on not that long ago actually, and they actually bolt on really nice. As you can see the fitment here, let me show you guys real quick. Look at that fitment there. So this curved edge here actually swings out, gives you enough room to kind of swing the door out. And I just attached that bottom side with self tappers. So yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, if anybody knows where I can get a remanufactured or refurbished ECU around here, California, let me know. Or if anybody has any websites that I can point in the right direction, thank you. But I think that's the only problem now. I mean, this car was pretty much tuned for everything else, so just trying to figure out why it's not starting. Alright guys, peace.